Oh, shit, Lee. What do you think of that, motherfuckers?
I think you're fired up today.
Churchill, what's happening now? I got my main man Lee in studio. My main man Doc. What's your last name, Doc?
Willis.
Doc Willis? It is Doc Willis. I was like, who the fuck? I thought that was like a baseball player or some shit. What's up, D?
Not much,
Good
man.
to have you here. You know, I've been a fan of yours
man.
for a long fucking time.
Man, I'm more of a fan of you than
Love you
are
like
me,
a
man.
motherfucker. What's up with you, cocksucker?
Not much. I had a kind of easy day.
Okay. You got an easy day every day.
Not
You
every
get up at fucking 8, then you sit there till 10, and then I call you at 2. What are you doing? I'm here. What the fuck are you doing? Get up. Out.
I worked on a blog. I put out a blog yesterday.
You did? You put it out already?
Yeah.
That's why I love
book?
you, bro.
A blog.
Oh, blog. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't fuck around.
Trying
He's on top
to
of
do
you.
some writing.
Trying. You letting the beard grow? You going to Florida this week and you have the bikini ready?
Oh, God, no, my dad goes nowhere near a pool.
How about SPF number 10? You got any of that shit?
No, he got a pound of locks.
A pound of locks for you guys.
Yeah. He called me today. He's like, I think I got too much locks. I got a pound.
It's a pound for
and
3
6
days.
bagels. So
And it's going to last till Sunday?
well, yeah, we're gonna be there. Well, we're
You
gonna.
got bagels today?
Yeah.
What's wrong with him? You get those daily, fresh. That's why he sends you and you bring them back fresh.
That's
Right?
what I was telling him.
Yeah, tell him forget it. Throw those bagels out. By the time I get there, you're going to need fresh fucking bagels. Unless you get them in a pouch like a Ralph's or something like that. They're terrible, those fucking things.
I don't know where he got them.
Yeah, you got to get nice. You like bagels?
Yeah. I kill them.
You kill those motherfuckers. What's your favorite?
You know what? They got this, like, pizza flavor kind.
Where?
I get them at this coffee shop. It's got, like, cheese and, like, a pizza sauce on it. Man, shit. You can't tell me shit. No,
They got that place by the Fairfax that makes a nice bagel there.
Fairfax and what?
Fairfax and Sunset. On that side. Next to the supermarket, they do turkey.
Bristol Farms?
Next to Bristol Farms.
Next to-
They have a bagel place. Right next to Bristol Farms.
I ain't never
When
paid
you
no
walk
attention.
out. Not bad, not bad.
I went in
Sometimes-
Bristol Farms for the first time. I was like, damn.
Yeah, they don't fuck around
Yeah,
in there.
they don't
You go in there
fuck
with
around.
100, they'll take it.
Yeah, it's like
Bristol
fuck.
Farms don't fuck around, Jack. They
Nah,
find
nah.
out. When you go in, they have something that reads your wallet and says how much is in your ATM card. And they'll take it. They'll raise the fucking fish prices. They'll do everything. Every time I go in, I drop $50 for fucking lunch. They got great lunch.
Oh, they do?
They got good food.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. I just went in there and bought a cake. And the cakes is fucking...
Yeah, they don't fuck around.
They
No,
don't
they don't
fuck
fuck
around,
around at
homie.
Bristol Farms.
Yeah, man. That shit is dynamic.
We haven't talked about your birthday cake, Joey.
Oh, the fucking ice cream cake.
Oh,
That was
my
delicious. A Carvel cake. We got a little one, the little one. And me, Lee, my wife, and the baby ate some fucking delicious Carvel, bro.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh,
What's
shit.
Carvel?
Ice cream cake. They got them at Ralph's, little ones. They get like chocolate. This one was mocha.
No, it wasn't mocha. Like I don't like mocha, and I was too high to tell you. But I don't like mocha. It was like double chocolate. Had like little chocolate balls on the outside.
All those little chocolate
yeah.
chips
That's
off the
good.
chain. I had a little piece. I still got it in the refrigerator.
There's some left.
Still in the refrigerator, but it's fucking got freezer burn. My wife didn't close the back end, so it tastes like a fucking shrimp or something like that. Right now. I hate
Like
that
shrimp?
shit. Yeah, when somebody puts something in the refrigerator, they don't cover it, and it's now the whole
that's the
refrigerator
worst.
smells like Cubans.
Oh,
My mother would do that shit. You go to eat flan, it smells like steak
Oh.
and onions. You're like, what the fuck, man? You got to cover this shit. But Cubans don't give a fuck. They'll just put the whole turkey in there with no cover. And everything tastes like fucking turkey in the fucking house. That shit drives me crazy.
You hear the Red
I
Sox
used-
signed another Cuban
Cuban
kid?
kid.
Yeah.
Another two?
But it's hysterical. It was a $31 million. But the sidekick was a $31 million tax. You know who that tax goes to?
Right.
Who?
Fidel, like a motherfucker.
You think so?
I know so. Who's the tax for?
I have no
Who's the
idea.
$31 million tax go to?
I don't know.
So it was $31 million to sign him. Then there was a $31 million tax.
I think whatever the signing bonus was would be the tax.
It's
yeah.
the tax. So who do you think that tax goes to? They wanted the embargo to be lifted. That's Fidel's paper.
All right.
So next time you talk about Jews, you better fucking check into Fidel's heritage. Because that motherfucker don't stop,
That
man.
motherfucker is a-
Carlos Leder, the big drug dealer
Right.
that worked with the Medellin cartel all those years, went up in front of Congress. Once he was in jail, and he ratted out Fidel. He said, we were giving him $800,000 a ship.
Wow.
Fidel didn't care what was on that ship. I don't know. I don't care if you're going to make $20 billion. I want $800,000 a ship. Think about that. They were sending out 10 ships a week.
Man,
What?
I'm surprised if Fidel's still alive.
Fidel,
man.
he's got too
fucking
much
so
paper.
good.
He's like Mitzi
Hey,
Shore. When you
that's
get that
right.
type of money, you don't die. Old
Right.
Jews don't die. They keep doing fucking plastic surgery and putting them in caves and shit. They don't die till that last dollar is spent because they ain't leaving shit to their fucking relatives. Those
no,
fucking
they-
Jews are fucking... I love them. I love Jewish people. They're so cutthroat. I love them. But I was telling you guys today that I have an agent. I have a theatrical agent. I have a voice, and they're all in the same building. Nice people. It's all the same agency. Theatrical's a little weak, and whatever's a little weak. But things are bad all over in L.A. Things are not what they used to be for auditions. People are freaking out. It's horrible. So I talked to this old agent I had years ago. He called me out of the blue. We had a conversation. Says his agency was number 55, ranking and all this. I said, you know what, man, I'll come down there and talk to you. That's all I said. Let me come down and talk to you. Just so happened last Tuesday I had a meeting, so I had to cancel his. And then Thursday I had an audition. I got a call back for an animated a game, one of those fucking Call of Duty type games. Right. So the meeting was Thursday at 2. My callback was Thursday at 2. When I get signs like that, that's something. Something. When something doesn't want me to go somewhere, that's a sign. Right. That no matter how good it sounds, you know.
You're superstitious like that too?
Yeah, very superstitious. Very superstitious, you know. If you're supposed to go somewhere on a Wednesday, you don't know, and it rains, then the next day something else happens, you're not supposed to go down there. Don't even go down there. So that Thursday I called him like a man. He's an agent, so I can't lie to him. I go, hey, man, I got to call back to producers. I got to go meet with the producers for Pembroke Frank. They're a casting director in the Valley. They put me in maybe 7 movies in 10 years. Great fucking people. Real loose. You could tell they get high. Everybody they hire is young kids. They talk about dope. They got music playing in there, you know. So I called him like a man. I go, hey, man, I got a produce session. I can't meet with you. He goes, well, if you want to, you could still fire your agent. I go, why would I want to do that? I have to pay 2 commissions. I'm paying 2 commissions. I got a 2-year-old, bro. I'm paying 2 commissions. I go, let me figure this out, and I'll call you back. But he called me during my birthday last Thursday. You were over, my wife, we were having a good time. He called me at 6:15, which I'm not big on. Don't call me at 6:15 unless it's an envelope. Don't be calling me to chit-chat. It's dinner. Right. You know what I'm saying? I would never call somebody at 6 o'clock just in case, you know. So I talked to him Thursday. I go, all right, we'll talk tomorrow. The next day, I don't call him. You know, I get busy. This motherfucker calls me again at 6 o'clock. Now I'm at the church with the baby and the wife, and they're showing movies, and they give free tacos and shit. Just something for kids. It was like 80 kids running around. So I'm not going to be here for 3 weeks. I figured I'd go. 6:15, this motherfucker calls me again. And he starts his routine. I go, I stop him. I go, number 2, I told you yesterday I'm not paying 2 commissions. And number 1, I'm dear friends with one of the agents. Let me talk to him. And once this is all done, once I shoot it, I'll sign with you. But right now, it's a fucking nightmare if I do this. Right. This is what happened to me last year. I left my agent, and I had to shoot Marin, and now both agents wanted money. I ain't giving you shit. Right. Trust me. Yeah. I won't give it to you. We'll rip this contract up right now. Right. If I get it, I ain't giving you a fucking dime. I work too hard. So I tell them at the end, I go, listen, let me fix this shit. Let me shoot with the project, and then I'll fucking sign with you. Right. I got a call from my agent today saying, hey, man, who'd you sign with? They're already on your IMDb, and they took me off Showfax. They mean that you can't even submit. I looked at this. I just called the agency, and I go, tell them to call me back. And I called the cell number, and I go, you know, are you a fucking asshole, or are you taking fucking lessons? I call you like a man. Right. I talk to you like a fucking man and tell you the truth, what's going on. And you go behind my back and take my agency off my fucking wall without my permission? Yeah. I can call SAG. You get in trouble for that shit. I ain't a crime stopper. I go, you're a fucking asshole. Now we're done. Don't ever call me back again. Right. You know, you have an hour to get this off fucking whatever. An hour. Right. And then I see that the guy that was helping me in New York, he disappeared too. He took him off. That's the way this guy is. I mean, that's how people are in L.A.
Like bitches.
Like fucking
How
bitches.
old is he?
This is
50, 40.
Oh,
Doesn't
wow.
matter. I don't give a fuck if he's fucking 10.
No, but like when I was younger, like you get some. Like when I used to get excited about something, I'd be too over anxious, and that always kills things. Like you can't seem to need you, so I didn't know if he was young or.
I talked to him as a man. There's no young. When you talk to somebody as a man and go explain the situation to him, he still does it. He did it because he's a devious motherfucker.
Yeah, you're like a little bitch.
See, how I met this guy was he used to be partners with my old manager. Guess what happened? My old manager and his wife broke up. This guy started dating her. They've been together for 8 years. So right there, you got to suspect somebody. Yeah, man. Right there, that's Jeff. That's my ex-manager's fault for not checking him. So right there, when he told me that, I'm with her now. She's just to say hello. I was like, in my world, that's not cool. Yeah, that's not cool.
Mine's too, dog.
You know what I'm saying? That's just not cool. But as we were talking, that's L.A. Right. You get these people that were raised out here that don't even know they hang out with gentrified Gentiles. So they have no, it's like we found out now what I was saying on stage, a joke is true. When I wrote it, it was true.
I didn't know if you wanted to bring it up.
These Gentiles, there's a big thing with the peanut allergy.
Yeah.
And once I discovered this, my head almost blew up because this is unheard of. This is unheard of in any other culture. In any other culture, when you have an allergy to something, you feed it. In fucking Greece, if you're allergic to bees, they'll get a bunch of bees and stick you with them and shit until your bee allergy goes away.
Wow.
But when I was a kid, I figured this out. When I was a kid, I just liked maple syrup.
Right.
And I couldn't have it, so I started eating it, and eventually the maple syrup,
Your body
the allergy.
to it.
Same thing with dogs. I got bit by dogs 8 times because I was allergic to them, so I get creepy around them. Like, don't touch them.
Right.
And they'd bite me. So once I figured out you talk to them and you hang out with them, the allergies go away.
Right.
This lady was telling me, no, once you have a peanut allergy, he has it forever. I go, no, he don't. If he's about 50, he'll have it forever. But if you take a kid that's 5 with a peanut allergy and you give him a little peanut, you blend that motherfucker every day. You don't give him a whole peanut and kill the motherfucker. You just give him a little bit every day, let him itch for a little while. Eventually, you'll build your fucking resistance to it. And where'd they do the study? In fucking Israel with the Jews, because it's a culture. See, there's a problem that happened in this country. Right now, all these yuppies, they're gentrified Americans.
Right.
They're like 3rd generation, 4th generation. Whatever they had, loyalty to their culture is completely gone.
Yeah,
they're just white bread, Wonder Bread motherfuckers walking around lying to people with no character, with their fake fucking glasses. And, the Jones, they drink Starbucks every day. They pay $8 for coffee.
Yeah.
That's gentrified Gentiles. They want to be a part of it in their dick. They got nothing inside, just those little fake glasses. And their tattoo,
Right.
they roll up their sleeves so you make sure and see their tattoo.
Right.
They ain't got nothing. That means they got nothing inside. That's why they're putting the fucking tattoos on. So, these motherfuckers are telling me, no, you're going to die. My kid dies. Your kid ain't going to fucking die. The culture has changed. Like, my mother used to check under my eyelids.
Yeah.
Did you know that when I was a kid?
For what?
Every morning when I wake up, she'd go, come here. She'd check under my eyelids to see the blood under there. If there wasn't enough blood under there, she'd make me a fucking rare steak. This is when I was 5, okay? We grew up on a thing called emulsive of cod, not cod liver oil. Emulsive of cod. It's like taking a fish and putting it in the blender with the bones and the eyes and the tail and drinking that shit. Now, and when I was a kid, it came white. It was white. They have it at CVS. But now, because kids are pussies, they have them strawberry flavored and cherry flavored. They ain't no flavor. That flavor is death. It's like strong fucking sperm.
No.
They give it to you in a spoon when you're a kid. Cuban moms give it to you in a spoon. You never get the flu. I was never sick as a kid.
Wow, that's cool as fun.
I was never sick till I never had flus or coughed.
Right.
I was a sickly kid till about 8, and then it all changed because my mom said, fuck these American doctors. I'm going to take care of you my way.
Right.
Lee and I were talking about this, that cultures, different cultures have different remedies. Right. Mexicans, if you get your nose busted, they'll put a penny on your forehead to make your nose stop bleeding. Does it work? Who gives a fuck? It may don't, but they believe that. Some cultures just have different fucking remedies.
Paula's mom makes voodoo drinks. It has like different spices, or she said it tastes like wood. To be honest.
And what does it do for you?
I don't know. Paula had it when she had a surgery that they were worried could have been cancer, but it wasn't. And then her mom took it for something in her stomach. So I think it's just like they have different things for like just any like general fixes. But I'm actually worried about that. My mom has been really on like a germ kick lately. Like she always has the sanitizer, and she won't touch certain things, and she got nervous. She was like in the elevator. She presses the buttons with her elbows. She's she like doesn't want to get germs, and I'm like, your mom has been slipping for years. You know this. I love you, but your mom's been slipping. No, but there's a lot of people who do that.
No, they don't, because they're not Jews. You know why Jews don't give a fuck? Because what's the filthiest thing you could touch?
A dick?
$1 bill.
$1.
Any Jew that's worried about germs, he's a fucking puke. All right? Because any Jew knows you got to pick. If there's a $20 bill with shit on it, a Jew will pick that motherfucker up, blow that shit in the air, and put that in his pocket. He ain't worried about hepatitis or germs. That's a fucking 20 with shit on it. I'll pass it at CVS to a Puerto Rican. I'll never know. Fuck them. I don't know. Your mom's, like I just said, she's too gentrified, away from culture.
It's hilarious.
You know, she's not touching doors and shit. I don't touch a door at 7-Eleven, but if they give you $1 with fucking a bowl on it, I'm taking that motherfucking dollar. You understand me? So tell your mom to get the Jew back in her. She needs to put the hat on.
Oh, that's hilarious.
A $20 bill covered in
Am I
shit.
fucking lying to you? Am I lying to you?
I'd probably pick it up.
Sure you would. Me too. I don't give a fuck. When I was a kid, there was one day I had change in my thing, and I went in the toilet, and there was shit floating. And I put my hand in this shit as a kid, like under the shit. Man. It was touching it was my own shit. It's not like it's a stranger's shit. That's disgusting. I took the change. I don't give a fuck. Then you wash your hands, and I lived. Nobody fucking dies. Doc, what's up, you bad motherfucker? Doc, how long I know you now?
Sure, probably roughly. I started doing open mic in and out of the Comedy Store in the early 2000s, like 2001. And then I'll come back here and there. So I've been knowing you since you was hosting open mics back then.
2000.
Yeah. So it's been about 13, 14 years.
15 years. Yeah. 2000's 15. Wow.
Yeah.
So you were a little kid when I met you, right?
Yeah. Not a little kid. I was about 26. I'm
41.
Little
kid.
Yeah.
You can't be no 31 now.
I'm 41.
41. Yeah, you were a little kid when I met you. You were Lee's age when I met you.
Yeah.
Amazing. You were at the store doing your thing. Now, we're Comedy Store guys, but I disappeared for 7 years.
Right.
I had different reasons. I knew that.
I knew I was there when it all went down.
Right, but I knew my reason. I had been going away from there a little earlier. I knew that to open up other doors, you had to close that door. I had been at the store too long.
Yeah.
It felt like it was going a different direction, and the direction was the kid's name was Tommy.
Right.
And I was friends with Joe, and I go down there, and Joe would put me and Ari before him.
Right.
And he always had a problem with that. He didn't like that. He wouldn't say nothing to Joe. He'd say it to me. And then when Joe went on tour with whatever comedy with Eddie Murphy's brother and John Heffron.
Joe Rogan?
Yeah, went on tour in 2000-something-5 with those guys. And that's when he was gone, Tommy would say things to me. Right. And I would say, Tommy, what you saying this shit to me for? But the whole time, he's falling in love with that puke Caparulo.
Right.
And he's milking Caparulo, and he's telling Caparulo he's funnier than Carlos Mencia and Joe Rogan, he's funnier than all these people. Right. And I liked John at the time. Me and John got along. It was when John sided with him.
Right.
And then I had a couple problems. Then I had problems with Tommy, but I also had a problem with Dean. Do you remember I almost smacked Dean? Yeah.
No, I
won that outside. And that's when, a week later was when I joined Kung Fu with the brothers on Vermont. Because that's when I realized I was so much out of shape.
Right.
That was why I said to you, Steve Byrne gave me that look that night. And Steve saw the crazy in me. And Steve never really talked to me after that because I was going to fucking go after Dean. Yeah. When they were shooting that thing with the store one night.
The Mine in the Store thing?
Mine in the Store.
Right.
It was one night TBS came in to see Paulie. So Paulie made sure that me and Rogan and a bunch of us wouldn't go up. Right. So Rogan got into an argument with Paulie and Dean in the hallway. And I was sitting outside. And I turned my back because the things they were saying to Joe, I thought Joe was going to knock them out. Right. And I honestly turned my back for the lie detector test that I did not see nothing.
Dean Gilbert?
Dean, the manager.
Right. Yeah, not Dean Delray, the comic.
No, Dean Gilbert. So Dean and I got into words, and I pushed them, and people got in between us. I just didn't like him either. Right. I just didn't fucking like him. Why or who? I don't know why.
Okay.
I was on the coke, I had my problems, and I just felt it. I just felt that he wasn't a cool dude, Tommy. And I knew it doesn't take a genius in my life to know when I'm going to have problems with somebody.
Yeah.
So after the thing went down with Carlos and those pussy-ass comics turned on Joe, I had no reason to go down there because I'm the type of guy, if you can't have a voice, if they scared you with a spot, then I don't want to be your friend. I don't give a fuck if you're a comic. And that's my problem with comics, that their loyalty is not for us. If it's between your friendship and a spot at a club, they'll go with the spot of the
that's
club.
What I don't like either, man. That whole ordeal was my thing at the store.
I didn't know with Tommy. Man. I knew he was racist.
Now imagine this: you was able to just walk out and leave. Now I could have walked out and leave, but my thing was like, I was an employee there, so I was exposed to way more than what you were, and so my thing was like, why run? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if these guys are gonna be bitches, then I'm gonna be the only one that's gonna be causing hell around here. Because I was like, Tommy ain't going. He's not gonna get away with this shit when I'm here, And I'm like, so I went full force, whatever I had to get towards.
Now, not to interrupt you, were you there that night when I went off in the main room with
Jeff
Valdez?
I know. I was there for the. It was. I thought it was for the Marilyn Martinez thing. Yeah, I was there.
That's the night I went off. They pulled me off stage.
Right.
And I was going.
But I was working outside.
Okay.
When you went off, and so I didn't see what happened. All I know is that they came to me and told me what happened, and I was like, "What, Joe?" And then And then from there, I know that you either left or they banned you or whatever, some shit.
I had left. That was about 3 months. I wasn't really going there anymore. I hadn't made any decisions yet.
Right.
I just kept telling Tommy and everybody I was on the road.
Right.
I just wouldn't go down there.
Right.
Because I at that time, Caparulo started getting an attitude like he was a tough guy. He didn't know he'd go flying through a fucking window if it came down to it.
Right.
It just got crazy down there. So I knew before it got crazy,
Right.
I'm going to get the fuck out of here. There's no reason to hang out here no more.
Right.
And then I heard the allegations of racism. I heard that he told a couple black comics to get the fuck out of here.
Right.
I heard that he called a woman a nigger to her face or
Yeah,
something.
two of them. Yeah, they got into it.
I don't know what the deal was. I just heard this through the years, and I'm like, and I had, Tom Petty, as they called him, was fucking racist. He was racist.
He was horrible, man.
I could tell when somebody don't like spics and niggas and chinks. I could tell. It don't take a fucking genius. They just have a certain aura to them.
I only met him a couple of times, and he was weird to me just because I was very lucky that Steve and Tony would put my name down. So, but he talked to me like maybe he thought I was an agent or something. But as a fan of podcasts, I've heard nothing but bad things about him. Like, so why do you think he lasted for as long as he did?
Because the brothers was fighting over the club. You had Paulie and Peter fighting over the club, and Peter had no idea what was going on because Peter lives in Oregon, and Paulie was there, so they were fighting because one was that Peter felt like Paulie was too selfish and he didn't know how to run the club, and then he was only trying to do it for his own benefit, and then Paulie felt like, Peter, you're not here, you don't know what's going on. So it was just like a whole lot in between and financial and stuff like that. So while they were fighting and going to court, because it was on the news and all on the internet. So like while they was going through that, there was nobody there to do anything for him because he was the door guy, and he wound up being like a errand boy for her because you know how all of us employees used to have to run water over there sometimes, take her to their house. So he started doing that consistently. Then he started being around her more. And then he started taking her to the doctor and doing all this other stuff. And then Duncan Trussell was
quit.
He quit. So then Mitzi, at the same time, she was dilapidating mentally. Struggling with the Parkinson, dementia. You know what I'm saying? So like the more she was breaking down, what she would do is she would make the list, give it to Tommy. And then she would come in and check and make sure that them was the people going up. And as time went on, she taught them, but she started breaking down quick. And once the brothers kind of like pulled her out of the equation because she couldn't be there anymore, they just left him in power because that was all they knew. So it was like he was just in a position where nobody else was there, nobody. So he got that position, and then all hell broke loose because he started implementing his dumbass rules, and then he started putting like his own personal feelings towards the racist shit and all that, and it killed the life of the club. For everybody else who was getting spots and getting on, to them it was like, no, it was great when he took over. I was like, every time they say that, I go, hey man, well, name the people who made the club hot. And if you name all the motherfuckers that he named, them all the people that Missy passed, and them all the motherfuckers that was working the doors. So what that tell you? She knew what the fuck she was doing. Everything has an up and down to it. You know what I'm saying? So people didn't realize that she was on the down curve. She was on the down part on her way back up. So as soon as that happened, Sebastian got hot, Caprillo got hot, Steve Burns started coming around. They got Ian Edwards. They started getting all these guys coming in. And at that time, that's right after Joe left, because Joe left. And then so all these guys just started rising. And people were like praising him, and I'm like, come on, man. You can only give him a certain part of the praise. And it's very, very minute part of it. But to the other guys who getting spots, oh, he did this, he did that. Now look what happened. Adam takes over in less than 5 months. He's doing twice as better than this dude. You see what I'm saying? So that automatically lets you know where he was mentally.
The thing that bugged me, and I think bugs a lot of people at any job, is when a boss takes themselves too seriously and gives himself more power.
That's what he was doing.
That's what it was.
He lost his mind.
Right.
He became Bud Friedman overnight. He was telling comics what to do, what to say, how to say it, how to dress, and it's like, who the fuck are you? And I'm hearing this. I'm living my life, but I'm hearing these things going, this just isn't right that you should be doing.
When I went down there, he broke down to me the school of Mitzi and how he formulated Tony Hinchcliffe.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing: what he was doing, because he was taking knuckleheads like T, and just because they were young, you know what I'm saying. So he was just taking his own little school group of guys and saying, "Okay, let me try to cultivate these little dudes right."
That's the word he used, cultivate.
And then and he would push all the older guys out the door because he had this dumbass philosophy. He would say comedy's for 35 and under, because basically what he was saying was, as long as people was young enough for him to manipulate mentally, he could do that. You know what I'm saying? So that was his whole thing. And so he was trying to push these guys and make these guys into stars. You can't make people into stars. They either got it or they don't. You know what I'm saying? You got to be about the game. He wasn't true to the game. If you ain't true to the game, you ain't gonna be shit. You only gonna be what the fuck you are. So that's why he lost everything. You know, he had the world in his hands. He had the #1 club in California, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And he took that and manipulated it all for his own power trip. And the thing is, he didn't realize he was so insignificant in this world as far as the world of comedy. He didn't realize that. That's something that even the owners know that. You know what I'm saying? The owners know that, yeah, they got some part of it, but this real game, where we become as an individual, and especially if you become a star or famous, in my opinion, you do more than what an owner has ever done, because it's a level. There's a level to this game that an owner would never be able to experience as a stand-up comedian. You know what I'm saying? And so I look at the game and I look at people like Tommy, and I just brush him to the side, man. I used to get into arguments with him all the time because he used to try to tell me how to do my stuff. He tried twice. I told him, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, you don't know what are you talking about? He would mimic Mitzi shit. I've been around and know what Mitzi say. You know what I'm saying? So he would say,
and
shit.
You're not Mitzi.
Your beats is coming. I'm like, nigga, you ain't Mitzi. Stop saying that. Say your own words. It's just like, you should hear the people like, well, tell me, man. Oh.
It was bad.
Well, you told me a story, Joey, about your roommate who was the talent coordinator,
right?
And so isn't it part of it comics' fault, because you said like your roommate they kiss up to him because of who he is.
We had this conversation on Joe's podcast about the tape, sending the tape,
right?
And it happens. You ever go to a Burger King, a White Castle,
yeah,
and you just anything. I'm using fast food.
Right.
And you're sitting there minding your business, and some boss comes in and just goes off. And
I had all those bosses.
And you're looking at the employee going, are you and even the employee's like, ugh. Something goes to their head. They get this. They become something other than what they're supposed to pay. They become too cool, or sunglasses, or they come in an hour late, or they're an authority on everything now. And you just don't have that in comedy.
Right.
It affected me the most in comedy because, again, we're busting our motherfucking ass,
right? And
you're telling me my fucking business. You're in a club in Kansas. I got nothing against Kansas. I'm just saying you're in a fucking little club in Kansas that nobody performs at, just local guys and guys from the Midwest, and you're telling me my fucking business about L.A. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
And that was my beef.
Yes.
And then they get too big, like Mark Babbitt's and the guy from Tempe. They get too big in their mind. Oh, people really like me. You know, people think this. I'm an expert in comedy. You know, the guy in Tempe wanted to be the guy here at the Improv. The guy from Houston wanted to be the guy here at the Improv. And it's like that guy I told him. I was thinking about that story today. The drummer from the Crickets, the Buddy Holly band,
right.
How he would do it to the abuse that goes on with young comedians, and a comedian that is trying to find his voice. It's disheartening. And that's why I don't give a fuck about these known comics. When I see these young guys, they're the ones that I give a hug to and let them know, dog, you're doing the right thing. Fuck this bitch. Throw a glass at that motherfucker. Fuck him. Fuck him. Make your marker and enforce it like they told you in Scarface. Because once you let motherfuckers know you ain't fucking with them, they won't hire you. And that's good, because I'm going to knock you out anyway, or we're going to get into an argument, or I'm going to quit, or something's going to happen. Or there's a flip side to this, guys. You guys are hearing me going, Joey, why are you being so rough? I'll tell you why. Because if you're not rough on them, you're going to be rough on yourself. You're going to take this abuse from these people. And you're going to become something else. And it's going to make you drink. When it comes to your art, I don't know about your fucking job. Your job is something different. Your job, you're working for them. They're going to go off. That's what you're working for them.
No, but there's a difference. Every boss I ever had that acted like Tommy, or it seemed like Tommy acted like, had no life outside of that place.
No, absolutely.
So like what you're talking about, when someone goes into their job and they're making $12 an hour as a manager and you're making $9 as a regular employee, and they're yelling at you and you should be here 15 minutes early and just yelling at you for nothing. It's that person always like who doesn't have any friends.
Yeah.
He goes home and no one talks
The guy
to him.
from
Like I don't really trip too much on if a boss yell at me. This depends. If I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do and I get yelled at,
That's fine.
I'm supposed to do what I'm supposed to do. But like a guy that just constantly just on 10 all the time,
Yeah.
it's just like, hold on, man. You know, you being disrespectful. And the hardest part is like, I come from a rough city, you know, and I grew up and with a gang. You know what I'm saying? So as a teenager, I was around killers and I've been a part of something that most people don't experience. So when you have the mentality like I have, it's hard to
digest.
Yeah, to digest when somebody's not right. If they're not real, you know what I'm saying? Like if I hate people who they're only a certain way with certain people, and then they flip when the next person comes, and I'm like, what is this?
I love my favorite. Well, you can talk about it. I go to the store sometimes with Joey,
Right.
and a lot of people have been very cool to me.
Yeah.
But some people don't even make eye contact. They'll say hi to everyone in the circle who they know and just turn their back to me.
Right.
So you said you worked at the store. Like, would you experience that? Would you experience comics being nice to everybody and then yelling at you to get their car?
I've had it happen, and I've checked people. I'm one of them dudes that have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, especially, don't fucking shake my hand, and then tomorrow, don't shake my hand. You know what I'm saying? Now, the flip side of that is this. There are some people who, in my stomach, I can't stand. And I'm not going to lie to you. Like, sometimes I just can't force myself to say hi. Sometimes I'm like, man, fuck this dude today.
But there's a difference between disliking somebody but still respecting them and doing your job or dealing with them. Right. And then just awful. There are some bosses who treat people terribly.
Yeah. But that's just everywhere. You know, if anything anywhere. I mean, it was people in my own gang that I wasn't cool with. You know, but that's you learn that's everywhere you go. There's somebody in some way, shape, or form, no matter where you are, that's like that. You go to a church, I guarantee you, one of them church members, you just ain't gonna get along with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna get along with everybody.
Yeah, you just
that's what life is about.
Yeah, y'all. Whether it's connect, whatever it is, you know. But because of what you're trying to accomplish, you just do it for the sake of that. But other than that, man, when Hollywood is filled with fake people.
Filled.
So it's
and
not,
you have to check them. That's where my mistake has been. That I've always checked Hollywood people, and the word got out.
Right.
And people don't like to be checked. Anywhere else in the country, I pull you aside and go, hey, man, before you were a little rough on Lee.
Right.
You were a little rough on me, dog. You know.
Right.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. I had a bad day. My wife left me. Cool, dog. Let me tell Lee.
Right.
You know, and the next time he sees Lee, he'll pull Lee to the side and buy him a drink. Here, they'll look at you like you disrespect them, like you blew up their fucking world. Right. I've been on sets. I was on a set where a fucking director yelled at me, and I turned around and said, hey, bitch, before I became a comic or an actor, I'm a fucking man. And that's where it ends. And I'm treat you like a man. Fuck this director shit with your little tattoos and your glasses and your hats. Everybody knows you're a fucking director. You know, so when I come on the set, if I can tell you're the director, I don't want to do business with you.
Yeah.
I want to see the guy that's dressed like a fucking bum as a director. Not because he's got the hat with the feather and his sleeves are rolled up and, oh, that's the director. Who gives a fuck? Fuck him.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, when, because I yell a lot at the Comedy Store, you know, at a lot of people. And it's primarily because I get too hot too fast. You know, I go from this to this, and then a lot of it is because of the fake people and the people who they don't really have a love for not just the game of comedy, but just for people in general.
Just for people in general.
Yeah.
They don't.
So they live in these self-centered worlds where they only exist. But then they come in yours, and you're like, no, homie. You like if you pay attention, the world you're coming in is mine, and the world you're living in is yours and mine. And mine is yours. It's all the same world. So like, how do you disrespect me, like by treating me like shit because you know this person and you connected with that person and you, man, people so funny style and that I had a hard time with it, Joe.
I still have a hard time with it.
And at the Comedy Store, I have to work on that because, you know, people catch me. They like, man, don't be yelling at me, man. And I'll just be like, sorry, man. It's just sometimes I get so mad at them because it's like they don't give a fuck, man. Like the guys will just be sitting on the door and the whole hallway would be filled with people talking in the hallway, and Comics is on the stage, and I'm like, dog, like what's your job? Like I shouldn't have to tell you to clear this out, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like nobody cares. I don't yell at them because I'm trying to be a boss. I'm trying to yell at them to get them to understand that we all spin this together. This comedy game, it goes from the owner all the way down to the janitor. Everybody's gets the same love. There's no, you don't show this person this kind of love and do half a ass job over here because you feel like this. You do your shit all the way through, and that's why I be trying to get them at the club. Like this a team thing. So if the waitresses need the dudes out the hallway, then you move the dudes. You don't sit there and be at the back talking to everybody and just letting that all chaos go all over here. And the girls got these heavy trays, back hurting, carrying them all back and forth. Like where's your care at, homie? That's what I get mad about. I'd be like, come on, man.
Common sense.
Yeah.
Common sense has always fucking drove me crazy on people. Yeah. When you get to airports, you got 9 bags of people in front of you, stop at the door. Oh, it's a beautiful airport. Get the fuck out of the way. What beautiful airport. Move. There's people behind you. Move. They stop right then. They put their bags down. It's just, this society is the worst. I feel that anything I've been in. People online and in the world, they call them douchebags when people have money or they act weird. Like we go to that coffee shop over on Riverside and Colfax where I told you to stop by. There's people who just pull up, block other people's cars, and get out and get coffee. And I go nuts.
You told me something the other day, like you judge people on the little things.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And there's nothing to me that infuriates me more, especially in a city where parking is rough, than people who just, you can tell so much by how they park. If they're in 2 spots with their nice new car and it's packed, it's dinner time at a restaurant, and they just didn't care that someone else isn't going to be able to park there, heck, like it kills me. You have something with parking in front of your house.
In my neighborhood. In fact, I saw it today. I saw the Mercedes that was brand new. Mm-hmm. First of all, if you buy a Mercedes and you take the train to work, pay for fucking the parking by the train. This fool parks by my house. Mm-hmm. So I know the motherfuckers around the corner from me are evil. And one day, this guy bought the car brand new, and he took 3 parking spots. And 2 days later, I went out there, and he was yelling, the guy with the Mercedes, somebody scratched my hood and the side of the door. That's the type of neighborhood you live in, motherfucker. Yeah, so next time you'll park correctly. Today I went by, his car was parked correctly.
Yeah.
It was parked on the corner. He left the space for 3 people. But he had to fucking take that brand new car back and get the door buffed out in the hood. Yeah, so he'll park correctly from now on.
That shouldn't even have to happen.
That should not have to happen, but that's society today. And I applaud the guy that scratched his fucking car. Applaud it. And do that in your neighborhood. You see a guy that ain't doing the right thing, scratch his fucking car. And when he comes out, hey, man, and wave at him. What happened? These fucking kids in this neighborhood with the shopping carts, they walked by. You said something real interesting before. The lawsuit at the store. Tell me from A to Z. What the fuck happened?
From my understanding, Paulie.
I'm talking about the Tommy one when you had to go to Beverly Hills.
Oh, the racist thing. Oh, so I get approached by the lawyer, and he's like the lawyer, one of the lawyers of the club. So he's like, Doc, we want to talk to you. Come down to the downtown Beverly Hills, and we need to talk. And then he's like, you know what this is about? And I told him, yeah, at first, because I kind of figured it was about Tommy. And then when he walked away, I was like, wait a minute, no, because I know Paulie and his brother was going to court about this club. So I was like, I hope it ain't got nothing to do with that, because I don't know shit about this. You know what I'm saying? That's between him and Peter. You know what I'm saying? That's family shit. So I went down there, and then once I got down there, he was like, man, Doc, I've been knowing you for about 6 to 8 years now. Why you never even told us about this with Tommy? And then I said, well, as racist as this dude been, I said, I figured y'all to find out sooner or later. I said, but I've been telling everybody else who I need to tell. And then he said, and then I said, now you found out. Now how do you know? Because I didn't come back. I didn't come and snitch on him. You know what I'm saying? Because and then he's like, well, I don't know. Peter called me, and he told me don't talk to nobody but you first, and that you was the dude to talk to. And he said, so what's the deal? He's like, what's going on? And I said, what you done heard? He said, well, we've heard some things, but do you have anything you saw or seen him do? I said, no, there's nothing that he said directly to me. Everything's been done indirectly. And I said, but is through all the people that he's associated with and affiliated with, all the other comics, with the exception of those who was getting spots and didn't want to reveal it to me. But even those who was getting spots was revealing it to me. Like Rick Ingram, you had some real dudes that were just like, look, man, this how this dude is. This is what this dude been saying. And that's how I started finding out. And then the stories started coming from the waitresses to everybody. I was like, what the fuck? All the white waitresses, just tons of people, that story after story. So he asked me, he said, man, well, what? Name something that happened. So, like you was talking about earlier with calling the black girls. Black girl. It was two of them.
Was she a comedian?
Nah, this is what happened. I came in on a Saturday. Employee come tell me what happened. He's like, hey man, this happened last night. I go, what? Because I wasn't there that Friday night. And then the comedians came later, and then they verified the story, and they said the same thing. And I'm like, wow. So this is what happened. Two girls came to the show. They was from the hood. You know, at that time, Tommy whitened the show so much that nobody really couldn't enjoy the shows except white America or people that was more involved in white culture. You know what I'm saying? So they watched the show. They start getting bored with the show. So they start heckling. So which is you know, any club policy that you heckle, you got to leave. Simple. So as they was leaving out, some of the comics were standing right there on the OR stairway. You know how everybody lean up against the pictures and they all talk back and forth right there. So some of them were standing there, and then, you know, at that time it was still kind of popping on the patio. The girls were making so much noise, I guess some people kind of leaned in and looked like, what's going on? And the girls was coming out, like was cussing at everybody, like, fuck y'all, we not coming back here. Y'all can keep this corny ass comedy play, blah, 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 and all this. And as they got down the stairs and they got ready to go out the door, they say Tommy leaned out the booth and yelled at the girls, that's why you fucking niggers don't belong out here. You need to stay where the fuck you belong. So instead of the girls realizing that they had a lawsuit, because they could have just took the witnesses, everybody's numbers, and say, hey, y'all saw what happened, and then witness did a lawsuit. They just ran back up the stairs, cussed them out, and then left. So, like, I told them that story. And I told them about one of the waitresses came to me, another story about one of the waitresses. I was talking to her, and then she was like, you won't believe what Tommy did. And I go, what? And then she goes, well, I went up there. You know how, like, the waitresses, when they won't change, they run up to that big window in the OR? But if the cashier is up talking to a customer or the comics right there at the little window, sometimes they'll just run around there and interrupt if it's a comic they talk to. But if not, they'll just stand behind the customer and wait. But in this particular case, she didn't. She just grabbed a rope and just like waited on the side, so Tommy couldn't see her over here waiting. So a white customer come in, he walk up to him, and he says, hey, I'm been on vacation for this week. And I came here Tuesday to come check out the show, and he said your show was really good on Tuesday. And he said, is it just gonna be as good as y'all show that y'all had on Tuesday? And then Tommy was like, yeah, all our shows are good. What are you talking about? He was like, yeah. He was like, are you gonna have some of those same comics too? Because I was over in that big room. Those guys was really funny. And she said, without missing a beat, he looked at the customer and said, what? You went to the fucking nigger show. Our show is funnier than the fucking nigger show. She said the customer back and was like, what the fuck? And he got awkward, and she said he looked at her, and she said she was standing there like, oh my God. And like, what the fuck? And then I asked her, I was like, was he an old dude? She was like, yeah, he was like in his mid-40s. And I was like, what, he look like a bum or something? She was like, no, she's like, he could have been a diplomat or something. And she's like, she don't even know who the fuck this guy was. He just threw that shit out there. And I go, holy shit. And then I was like, all right, man. And so like we got into it was because one of the comics came back and told me, they was like, man, Doc, man, I was talking to Tommy, and he started getting really upset. I said, hey, man, calm down. I was like, tell me what's wrong. Tell me what he said. And he was like, man, well, Tommy said he hated you and Mitzi hates you, and the only reason that she keeps you here is because you show up for your shift, and how he don't like niggers, and niggers shouldn't interracial date. And he said that, yeah, man, just so then.
So odd.
Just
beliefs are a comedy club,
man. This is like so. Then he's upset because his aunt is married to a black man. So he's flipping out, and I'm like, calm down. I was like, it's cool. I'm gonna handle this shit. So like after that, I just started telling everybody, but I gave everybody else a more straight to the point story. I didn't give them that. I basically said that Tommy was saying this is what Tommy said. Doc's a nigger. He don't like fucking niggers, and niggers shouldn't interracial. Because that's what it sounded like to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't put my name with nigger, but he know goddamn well he might as well have put my name in there. How you gonna say that and then follow with the rest? So I was telling everybody.
Paul Mooney a nigger.
I don't know it not to his face.
I heard that. This is what I heard. I heard that Paul Mooney kept calling the store for spots, and he wasn't getting spots. When was the last time you saw Mooney? 7 years ago.
Right.
6 years ago.
Right.
A little after a year after me.
Right.
And I heard he was calling up there.
No, he came like a little bit more after that. Like I think I seen
5
him.
years. You
About
seen
4 or 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
I heard that he kept calling for spots or something. He wouldn't call him back. And, you know how somebody gets the call and they go, Tommy, it's Paul Mooney. He wants to know what's going on. And that's when Tommy said, tell him we don't do late night nigga shows no more, or something like that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and that's what I had heard. And
I was gonna ask if you thought it might just be he's like hanging around comedians and trying to make jokes, but now he sounds like he's
This is real.
There was some about. Listen, I like everybody. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and he was always very nice to me as a phone guy.
Right.
Once he got power, he spoke to me out of place a couple times.
Right.
And then it all hit the thing the day he called me, because he thought I was going to put a bug in Joe's ear, and he was telling me how Carlos keeps going in there and bumping people, and Caparulo's funny, and Carlos, and I said, not for nothing. Here's the rule. No matter, even if fucking Benny Hanna's on stage throwing knives in the air and he's killing, if somebody comes in and they have a show on network, they bump.
Right.
They bump. They finish and they bump. That's how it is. He kept arguing with me, going, no, it's not the way it is. I go, Tommy, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to fucking argue with you about it.
Right.
And what he was trying to tell, he didn't like Carlos, but he didn't know how to get rid of Carlos.
Right.
He didn't know how to get rid of Carlos. At that point, I don't think him and Joe were tight anymore. Joe had seen his true colors, so Joe wasn't taking his calls no more.
Who?
Rogan.
I'm talking about taking who?
Tommy's.
Oh, no, you know where they got into the beef, right?
Where?
Where the thing was with Joe and Tommy was, because Joe told me when I talked to him, he said that when him and Carlos got into it, right, he called in and Tommy told him he was banned. And so his beef was, he said, he had already called Missy and talked to her one-on-one on the phone, and she just told him, hey, okay, it's fine. Just stay away from Carlos. Y'all stay away from each other. But then he called in his spots, and then Tommy's like, nah, you banned for 2 weeks. And then so he got mad, like, bitch, I talked to Missy. I ain't supposed to be banned. Why the fuck am I answering to you? So that was his whole thing, was like, I shouldn't be answering to this motherfucker. Like it was ridiculous. And which he was right. How the fuck was Tommy the one to relay that message to him? You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't supposed to be, because I guess it was handed down from Peter to Dean, and then Dean to Tommy, and then Tommy's the one that told him. So his thing was like, if Joe told me, he said if they had that fucking idiot running it, he's like, fuck it, he wasn't gonna come back up there no more, and that was the deal. Because I was trying to, like, I wanted him back to come back up there, because you know the comedy kind of took a turn to where, like, I felt it was only one, like this one style of comic. It was going a certain way, and it didn't have its, you know what I'm saying, that spice to it. You know, because it was you back in the day. It was you, Sergio Love, everybody, Ari, all these different. It was so different. You know what I'm saying? Joe Rogan, Eddie Griffin was still popping in, doing a lot of time.
He got rid of Eddie too. He got rid of Eddie.
Yeah, he got him banned. You know, I don't know if he got him banned per se.
Eddie's no fucking angel.
But here's the thing, though. Tommy never had the power to ban. That's what people were wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only way he could ban was through permission of Dean or Peter.
Now, what did Dean leave?
Dean left in 2011.
Why?
September, because he wanted to go work in Hawaii with his boy, with some company that they started. But then he moved up north and he started doing something up north. So then he's been up there ever since, you know. So I just feel like Dean kind of was like, everybody was fighting at that time, and Dean kind of was like, man, I want to wipe my hands of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So Dean thing,
it wasn't comedy anymore. It became something else.
Yeah, it was like this. It had this bad cloud, like this negative energy, man. It was horrible, man. Like, dog, like the brothers was fighting. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Tommy being the way he was. So there was no real structure of power. The comics was getting into it. There was this he say, she say. Tommy was gossiping and spreading rumors and lying. It was so fucking chaotic. Like, there was no real structure. And that's why I was trying to get people to understand. Like bitches who don't have that kind of discipline, they fall in line with somebody like him because they that's all they know is bullshit. So like a lot of the people that were full of bullshit kind of rolled away with him. But then the flip side to it is like you say, take a Caparillo on them. They were about doing their comedy. You know what I'm saying? So them becoming who they were was mainly because this is the thing that Tommy is feeding these young guys. You know what I'm saying? He had a disrespect for the guys like you guys. You know, like, perfect example. This was maybe about a year or so ago. Chris Rock came in, right? Now, you heard the name I just said. Chris Rock asked, first of all, out of respectful, can I do 40 minutes? Tommy say, well, it's 9:30. It's too early. You can wait an hour and go up later after Rick Ingram. Or you can do 20 minutes, but you have to wait until Whitney Cummings. Until Whitney Cummings go up because these people here for her. So Whitney flipped. Whitney go, what? She goes, no. She goes, no, Chris, you're supposed to go first. Like, you're supposed to go up when you're supposed to go up. She goes, no. Then Chris is like, no, I can wait. She goes, no. You go up. And she said, not only do you go up, you do as much time as you want. She said, it doesn't matter. You're supposed to like that. So I was like, damn, Whitney real. So then I walk out. Later on, after Chris get up, he leave, because Chris wound up going up, and he wound up doing like 35, 40 anyway. So, like, I talked to Rick Ingram, and Rick Ingram was sitting right there, and he said Whitney came and sat down right next to him while Chris was on stage. And then, so he said that Whitney turned to him and was like, Tommy better not turn on this goddamn light on Chris. So then Rick said he looked at her, and he was like, shit, are you kidding me? He said, not only going to turn on the light, he going to turn it on in 15 minutes. And he said, like, right after that, 16 minutes, boom, light comes on. Whitney grabs him, like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, what is he doing? And I'm like, yeah, he had a disrespect for the game to the utmost. And that type of behavior was taught to these other guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I know Tony y'all boy, but Tony, he's on it. That motherfucker's on some other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so,
no, I love Tony. I love
right.
Tony. Tony Hick's a dear friend of mine. I love him to
Right.
death. But I know that he was blowing smoke up Tony's ass.
Right.
I do know that.
Right.
And I had heard that. But he was blowing smoke up everybody's ass.
Right.
Because was he not claiming Gerard Carmichael, though, after the racist shit came out?
Right.
He started claiming Gerard Carmichael.
Yeah. But that's the
he
thing.
started saying that he developed
Bullshit.
Gerard.
Bullshit.
That it was him that developed Gerard.
No.
See, I wasn't
Bullshit.
there, but I'm telling you what he was
Bullshit.
telling people.
Go talk to them and go ask any of them dudes. When it came to open mic, I was doing the list. Them dudes was getting up because of me. Not only that, when they were coming in, Eleanor was hosting a lot back then. Eleanor was putting Gerard up. Tommy wouldn't even show him no love. You know what I'm saying?
Tommy tried to get out of the racist stuff by saying, what are you guys talking about? First, I'm the one that developed Gerard. I don't just develop. See, that's what.
Nah, it's not real. I was there. I'm there.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Right after that, Gerard got passed. Go find out what month Gerard got passed, and I'll tell you right now what month I went. It was either the right at the end of July or the beginning of August when I went in for the investigation of 2010. So anything after that, if you ask any of them and who got passed, and you see the time that they got passed or higher, then you know. You know what I'm saying? Like I was told by one of the comics, he was like, man, Doc, he's like, he pulled me to the side. He's like, man, does anybody ever come say thank you to you or anything? And I was like, nah. I say, for what? He said, because they need to, man. He's like, all these dudes is up in here because of you. And he's like, that they should at least said something. And only one comic did. He went on Twitter and he said something, but I didn't acknowledge it because it was like, that's not why I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I took the bullet, and because of that, I lost. Man, you talking about agents, producers. Tommy kept me from everything. Wouldn't give me spots in La Jolla, nothing. Out of the 8 years that I was, 9 years that I was there at the store before he got fired, 10 years that I was there at the store before he got fired. No, this would be my 10th year coming up. Or the 11th, this would be my 10th year coming up. The 9 years I was there, I only got sent down to La Jolla 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hated me. But it was cool to me because my thing was like, you can't stop me if I'm going to be good. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it just was so ugly at the club because he had these young guys and he was pushing these young guys and pushing. So he was ignoring, like, all of us.
He told Felicia Michaels she was too old.
Yeah, because he said comedy's for 35 and under.
Yeah, he told Felicia. He heard her. He killed her with that stuff.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, you know, it became like crazy. And then, you know, you had people like all these young guys, they were getting help, like from Matt Egger to Tony was hooking up with Jeff Raw, and everybody was getting this help. But it's like, yeah, they ain't done shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were getting the treatment like they were doing shit. Where Missy, it wasn't like that. It was like, I'm gonna help you grow, but it wasn't no putting these people on a pedestal and trying to get them to rock. You know what I'm saying? So it was like these young kids got these egos around there. So like, I was constantly like checking people, because me, man, I don't give a fuck who you with. Where I'm from, if you could be with the Bloods or the Crips, you could be with whoever, MMA niggas, whoever you got. Where I'm from, we don't. That don't matter to us. You know what I'm saying? You can get slapped just like the next guy. And if you put your hands on me, and if I hit rock bottom in my heart and I feel that way, I'm coming. Then ain't nothing to do to stop that. So to me, there was no filter. I mean, it should have been at some point, because sometimes I got a little bit out of hand. But my thing was like, you can hide behind whoever you want in Hollywood, but you ain't never safe. And y'all need to understand that it's real out here. And at any moment, you can get it. Any moment. You know what I'm saying?
That's anywhere.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you're preaching to the choir. You knew that I had my proms up there. I did great up, I went back in August. Right. It's the best thing I've ever done. Lee will tell you it's the best thing I've ever done for my comedy. I needed a jolt. I needed to run with people. I see the change.
Right.
I feel the love now.
Yeah,
but
man.
I also know I've also been the guy that growing up in my house with my mother, adults would come over. Sometimes adults would want to talk to my mother and my stepdad about something I was supposed to. One thing I always took pride in, that nobody ever had to ask me to leave the room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I left the store. And I would always get reports of the store, because at the end of the week, I'm a Marine. The store are the Marines. The Laugh Factory, yeah, whatever, they're the fucking Peace Corps. You know,
right,
the Improv, that's the motherfucking Boy Scouts.
Right.
The Comedy Store are the Marines.
Right.
Joey, how could you say this? Richard Pryor. I just saw a picture on the website of Richard Pryor, Paul Rodriguez, and Sam Kinison talking. Okay, those are Marines in my world of comedy. So when Mitzi passed me, I became a fucking Marine of comedy.
Right.
And I lived it. That was who I am in my heart.
Right.
And because of that, Mitzi Shore has told how many motherfuckers to go fuck themselves in their career.
A lot.
That motherfucker told the motherfucker to go fuck himself. He jumped off
Look
the
at
building.
Louis C.K., the email he said.
Yeah.
She was like, nah.
Nah, she didn't fuck around.
Right.
If she didn't feel it, she didn't give a fuck what Hollywood said.
Yeah.
That's where I come in. That's the same school of thought.
Yeah,
I got passed because of Eddie Griffin.
Right.
A lot of people don't. I got passed. I was ready for the store. From the day I got on stage, people kept saying to me, "Has Mitzi Shore seen you yet?" Yeah. You're her. That's it. I walked in 3. She gave me 10. I got off. Start calling for spots tomorrow. I got here January 29th. I was a regular February 15th.
Wow,
Not even a month it took me to become a regular
Wow,
there.
that's great.
And she always gave me 6-7 spots a week.
Yeah.
And now I go back to the store, and you see me, bro. I don't even go into the bar area.
Right.
Sometimes I go with Lee and I get him his favorite Diet Coke with, what is it?
Makers and Coke.
Makers and Coke.
Okay.
But besides that, I don't even go back there. I don't mingle. I don't go there and hang out.
Yeah,
I do my spot. You know why? Because I'm 52.
Right.
Comedy is for 35-year-olds. Okay. If you follow me in my heart, I've always known this.
Right.
But I go down there, drop some fucking love, and I get the fuck out of there.
Right.
Like a bullet in the fucking night.
Right.
Because I know I don't belong there no more. And I know when I was young and I'd go there and I'd see old guys there, I go, what the fuck are these creepy motherfuckers doing here at night?
Yeah.
Waiting for a handout and
Yeah,
shit.
man.
He gives me, if I call in for 6 spots, he gives me 2. Right. And you know what? I'm very satisfied.
Right.
I am so satisfied, Doc. Because Mitzi gave me 6. What am I going to do? Call back and say, Adam, you didn't give me 6 spots. What, are you fucking crazy?
Right.
Well, I'm an old man. All I need is 2. I don't need 6 fucking spots there all week.
Right.
I know where I am when I'm there. I show the utmost respect. That's my motherfucking house. That's my motherfucking comedy house. I don't give a fuck about any comedy club in the country. That's my house.
Right.
Everybody's always known that. So now that I'm back there, I see the difference. But I heard it was horrible.
Yeah,
He was
man.
putting people against people. He was putting comics
Yeah,
against
that was the
comics.
thing, man.
He thought he was doing what Mitzi was doing. Like, if Mitzi finds out that Doc and me had an argument, she'll make Doc follow me for a month.
Yeah.
That's what Mitzi will do.
Yeah,
She'll make me hand the mic to him for a month.
Make me learn the game.
But, you know, he was doing it stupidly, like a fucking redneck that he was, a dumb fucking redneck that he was, because that's all he was.
Right.
At the end of the fucking week. That's why I couldn't listen to him anymore. He was trying to tell me my business. I've been on Greyhound buses. I've done comedy in Buffalo, Iowa. I've done comedy in all these rooms where they look at me in the Bible Belt where I'm hated. You know I'm hated in the Bible Belt and shit. They just throw holy water at me and shit. And you're going to come tell me my job. Yeah. That's not going to happen. Come talk to me about my job and we'll find an even ground.
Right.
But I would never go to a plumber and go, whoa.
Did you put some Teflon
Put some Teflon on that motherfucker and use copper. Right. That's not my game. That's something somebody told me at the farmer's market. Right. And I'm repeating it like a fucking jerk off.
Exactly.
No, I would never tell somebody. I would talk to them about their game and learn something and offer a suggestion. They go, no, okay. Fuck, right. I always thought that would work. You know what I'm saying? Nah,
right.
Doc, I think I know Joey's answer, but who were worse people to be around? Comedians? No. Comedians or like people who are in gangs and criminals and like which would you rather spend your time with?
I would rather. It depends if it's. I would rather be around comics. You know why you want to be around gangs and criminals?
Well, not.
We're talking about from a loyalty standard, from waking up in the morning,
a friend,
knowing that if you called me at 3 in the morning, I'd pick you up in the fucking car.
Right.
I know where I stand when
it comes to the gangs, though. That's a friendship that friendship would kind of fuck you up as a person, because you have people that are willing to die for you, and people that I've had people do stuff to people, and I didn't even tell them to do it. They just heard something happen to me, and then they took it upon themselves and went and did it. You know what I'm saying? And I get the phone call, and I'm like, man, you shouldn't have done that, man. You know, and I didn't tell you.
Fuck it, dog. You're my dog.
That's exactly what they told me.
That's the school of thought I'm from.
Right.
That's how I grew up.
You basically had a gang, but not a gang.
And that's why I have a hard time with society after I left New Jersey.
Right.
Because I was raised different. I was raised in a society where if I got up and went somewhere and some motherfucker sat there, that's my dog's chair, dog. Get up, and that's his lady. Don't say 2 words. I'll bash your fucking skull with this bottle. Right. They had your back. So when you've had that treatment before, and then you don't have it, and then you start running with people that you know. I told this story 1,000 at the store. One night I did some blow down there with some cats.
Right.
I bought 5 20s off of Chewy, 6 20s for 100 he'd give you.
Right.
And the people that were supposed to come get it never came. So it's 1 in the morning. I got 6 fucking packages. So somebody asked me, man, I'm tired. Can I get a bump? I gave him a bump, and I go, hey, take the rest of the package. A week later, he goes to a meeting. One of my boys in the meeting, they go, who do you want for this role? They say, Joey Diaz. That dude said, that coke fiend? I just gave you a package of coke. So that sellout, still, to this day, 10 years later, nothing bothers me more than the Joe Rogan thing.
Right.
Nothing. That's why I stayed out of the store, just to show him that I had him.
Right,
Nothing bothered me more that Friday night when I heard that they were all going to picket the store.
Right.
And then Mitzi called them and said, whoever pickets gets no more spots. And not one guy showed up. Right. After that, I had no business at the store. It took me 7 years to get over that feeling.
Right.
It took me 7 years to... I was hurt. I was hurt for him. But then after a while, I had to go take care of what I had to take care of. Those guys, a lot of those people are gone today. Some of them are still around.
Right.
60% of them are still around.
Yeah.
But now I know what the store is about.
Right.
And I appreciate that you're there. You know, I appreciate the little things.
I was telling Ari on his podcast, Ari Shafir, and I was telling him, I said, what kept me there at the store was 2 things. One was I had to because if I didn't, things wouldn't have got done the way they needed to be done. And then the second thing was like I said, man, there's nothing. That's why I always worked a lot. I said, people don't get it. I'm the first dude that greet y'all. I'm the first dude to see your face at the club. I'm the first dude. And I said, for me, that exchange, that emotional exchange is priceless. To see when you first popped in, Uncle Joe, man, shit. Man, I'm telling you, boy, when you came back, I said, man, I'm telling you, I was about ready to cry. That's how happy I was.
Too, when I saw you. Yeah,
this is my nigga right here. This dude is real peeps. He's always been, you've reached out to me more than I've ever reached out to you. That's how real you are. You would always be like, Doc, you ain't call me. You motherfucker called me. I'm just like Joe, I'll be fucking up. I'm sorry, dog.
You young guys were my life. Because I know that you young guys are going to take care of me if I take care of you.
Yeah, man.
Nobody remembers nothing more like Stevens. Al Stevens, he doesn't go to the store. They threw him out of there too.
Right.
But he was a producer on our list. He came to the store one night. He hired me. I call him for Christmas. I call him for all the Jew holidays. You know what? Alan Stevens, because he gave me that job. He gave me one of the biggest breaks in my life. Did it go anywhere? No. But I learned to do 2 lines opposite James Coburn.
Right.
That's what he gave me. I can't forget that.
Right.
So when I talk to one of these young guys and that's what helps my game. That helps my game.
Yeah.
When I take a guy that's been doing comedy 6 years and I grab him by the arm and I go, that bit you did, he's going to go home, his head's going to explode.
Right.
And I try to do that. I try to give the young guys love because say what you want. I got a lot of love coming up. And a lot of people who hated me that didn't like that I was dirty or I tried to follow him and he did a pussy joke. But there was motherfuckers that were, hey, come here, dude. I really dig what you're doing. I like the heart. Right. And I judge people on heart. That's one of my weaknesses. I don't judge people on your car or your money or anything else. I judge motherfuckers on heart, Jack. That's the cold, hard truth. Now, back to Detroit, not to throw you off the store.
Okay. Before
you came out here, you were still gangbanging?
Nah. I stopped gangbanging when I was like about 17. My mom's, she made me move with, like I got locked up in juvenile and I failed school, so I was like, fuck it, the streets is all I knew. And when she found out that I was still selling drugs, she made me move with my aunt. And then she told me that I could make it and that if I just try, she'd do whatever she can to help me succeed. And then she started crying, you know what I'm saying? And my mom don't cry. So when she started crying as a teenage boy, and that's your mama, I'm the only son, I just like, I didn't really want to do it because I didn't believe in myself, but her love was enough for me to go, all right, I'll try. And she was right, man. I wound up graduating that next year, went to school. That summer went to summer school, and that next year took like a 1 to 7, 1 to 8, took a bunch of classes, boom, graduated on time. It was crazy, it was rough, but she was right. So like because of that, I just stayed out of the mix. All right. And then when I graduated from school, I was still slanging dope though. She didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Because the guys that when she sent me to go to school, I was going to elementary and part of my middle school with these guys. And my mom took me from over there because I was acting up over there to bring me over there with her. But then I got caught up with the drug getting guys over there. So when she sent me back over here, these guys now, a lot of them was kingpins and slanging, you know what I'm saying? So like, okay, I just started having guys selling dope for me. But I'll never forget it, man. She called me after I graduated from school, and it was after my father passed away.
High school?
Yeah. I graduated from high school.
So you went back to high school after you quit?
Yeah, because my mom was like, I went immediately. Like, it was that summer. She made me move with my aunt. Then I went to school, right to school. Like, it was immediate. Bam, bam, bam. Like, everything was quick. And I went, like, the moment she made me move with her, I started right in summer school, right into regular semester came, then I went to school and I graduated. Then when I graduated, about 2 months later, my father killed himself, right? And then, like my mom's called me like 2 weeks after like a week after his funeral. And she said, I know this is a hard time in your life. And she said, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you where I am with you. She said, you're 17 now, you're about to be 18. And she said, now, you made it through school. I told you can do it, and you can do anything you want to do. She said, so I can't tell you what to do anymore because you're a grown man, and that's how I'm going to leave it. She said, but I am going to tell you this. She said, a man does either two things. He either works honestly and takes care of himself, or he goes to school, gets out, and works honestly and takes care of himself. She said, but either way, a real man works honestly. So I want you to think about that. She said, if you want to go back to college, that's what I want you to do. If you want, not back to college, you want to start college, I'll help you. Just try. Just let me know what you want to do. And I hung up the phone, and it made sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It just was like, so I thought, and I said, you know what? Next day, I thought about it some more, and I called all the young cats and all the dudes that owe me dope and money. I called them up. I go, hey, y'all. You know, keep the dope, keep the money. That's like, no, man, what are you doing, man? No, man, I'm going to pay you back. And I don't even pay me back. And I said, man, if you can, try to get out yourself. I said, I'm done. And I said, use that money for whatever, man. I don't know. I said, but I would say if I was you, I would just drop it, man. I'm trying to make my life better. So I went to college, and then I stayed on the right path. After that, I got kicked out of college because for shooting, shooting at some dudes on campus. But anyway, it's just like
what
I
college
still
were
was
you at?
Eastern Michigan University.
No shit.
Yeah, man, it was a big deal, man. I was like, my bill was $500,000. It was crazy. Yeah, man, I had no 10%.
Oh.
Man, I'm telling you, man, like I still, and that's why I love. This is the third. You know what? There's a third thing about the Comedy Store. This is the greatest thing about working at the Comedy Store too. Is during that whole process, I had to like mentally like wipe myself clean mentally, because I went through like a depression and all this other stuff. So when I came out here and I discovered I really wanted to try to do comedy, and I started working at the store, because Dean wound up making me work at the store. Like I didn't even want to work there, but he kind of set it up, and then like he set me up twice to work there, and he didn't pay me. And I was like, man, no. I said, you're not gonna be having me work here, and then you're not gonna pay me. He was like, well, that's what we be trying to do. We be trying to get you to work here for the longest. Welcome to the club. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I wasn't like cool. I was a little upset at first, and I called my mom. I was like, I didn't want to work there, and she was like, nah, she said, just try it. You never know. And shit, ever since I've been there. But you and Ian Edwards is like one of my main friends, because it's so funny. I'll get mad or I'll say something, and then he'll be like, Doc, that's street shit. You can't handle it like that. That's not. He'd be like, you're talking. Yeah, he said you talking street shit. He said that's not the way that you gotta. And so he helps me, and it's a lot of other people that help me. And it's not like I'm like this, like Billy the Kid and no shit like that. But it's just like I say, Hollywood is filled with a lot of fake people. And it's got some real people sprinkled in there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't full of all bad people.
No, it's not.
Right.
It's not.
And so by me being there, it helped me to a point, especially the story. And like you said, you come through, Lee, and it's dealing with those attitudes and those personalities, and then dealing with Tommy. And then I had let Tommy affect me to where I was like extra mean to these guys, Tony and them, and they didn't know no better. These young dudes. They younger than me. But I was so mad at the racism and all this stuff, and then these young guys with these attitudes, that I started being a little bit too ugly. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like the store, that was a chapter in my life that had to be written. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to learn that my way ain't always the right way, and you gotta learn how to love people, and sometimes you gotta love people even when they ain't good, because it's the only way. That's the only way you're gonna make things better. If you got two people that just constantly warring, but what do you have? And what do you have if you just loving the same person that's loving you? You know what I'm saying? So I've been trying to learn how to just not try to learn, but just loving people despite. You know what I'm saying? Because even Tommy, I pulled Tommy to the side, Joe, 1-on-1, and if I'm lying, go ask him. You know what I'm saying? I pulled him in the main room, and I told him, I said, listen. I said, for these past few years, you're going around and you've been telling everybody how much you hate me. And I said, that's pretty fucked up. I said, because you can go ask any comic. Out of all the shit you done and all the shit you done said about me, I ain't never told one of them I hate you. And you can go right now, go ask any comic. Any comics that know that I talk shit about him all the time because he was wrong. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to hear it because I was spitting the truth at him. But that was fine with me. I would take the bullet. You know what I'm saying? And then when I said that to him, he just put his head down and I just walked out. But I had to tell him, because my thing was like it was times even after that when he was hungry or something, I gave him cookies and some of my food, man. Like, hey dog, you hungry? Eat. We all gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, eat. Like, okay, you got your shit, you got your issues, but if you're hungry, I'ma feed you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time to be sit up here casting you down, and what good am I? You know what I mean? So like, I tried to be the best I could be, and I slip, and I have issues that I still work on, but fuck it.
Let me ask you a question.
What's that?
Has the store been a journey for you?
Man, a tremendous journey.
I'm gonna tell you something right now in front of Lee and you. When I die, I want you guys to fucking go smoke a joint. I mean, the store I can't tell you what the store has been for me. When people say to me, well, you turned your life around. No. The store turned my life around. Rogan once said that when this is all over, said and done, we're going to find out that the store was like a beam of light from like Mars or something, where the store is. Like, if that was a shoe store or a restaurant, it would have had the same effect on you. The store, my set at the store is completely different than my set anywhere else in the country. Do you know why? Because I have more confidence at the Comedy Store in the original room than any other room in the country. That is my room. Yeah. I've done from 97 to 2005. I've done thousands of sets in all different situations. When they were drinking, they weren't drinking. And you find out about yourself when you're on that stage. That is where my guts came out, because that is where I realized, following Paul Mooney and dying, that if I sit here at 9 o'clock, by 11:30, if the people are still here since 9 o'clock, they've already heard every joke. They've heard every genre, every topical joke, every, what's topical this week? I don't know. The Oscars. It would have been, if there's 6 jokes, comics would have been on, 4 of them would have talked about the Oscars.
Right.
So when you go up at midnight, I figured this out one day in my coked out delusion mind. They don't want to hear nothing. And I would go up there following Mooney, there'd be 8 people. Right. If you think they're going to wait for the P joke or for the setup or whatever, they're not going to wait for it. So you just got to go out there and improvise. And that's why he plays the piano and music when I go on stage. Because he knew I could just fucking run with it.
You can riff with it.
But while I was doing all that stupid improvising and dancing and taking my balls out and fucking around, I found out Joey Diaz's voice. I found out who the fuck I was.
Yeah.
The other day I was holding my baby, and I go, if it wasn't for the Comedy Store, I wouldn't have this baby. I met Terry at the fucking store. She was a waitress at the store, my wife.
Yeah.
Are you fucking crazy? This baby is from the Comedy Store. So the Comedy Store has been in my life right now for 18 fucking years. I'm 52.
Right.
So that's a third of my life.
It seems kind of like a high school. I was thinking about it earlier when you were talking about like the Laugh Factory and the Improv. It's people who work there, but like you guys, it's like high school or summer camp. It's like you guys have friends and stories from previous years.
I still talk to the first talent coordinator at the Comedy Store, a man by the name of Scott Day.
Right.
That was brought in there by Louis Anderson's buddy from Minneapolis.
Right.
And he loved comedy. He was the only talent coordinator that would sit there with you till 2.
Right.
And watch the shows. You'd fucking be scared to go up in front of Mitzi, but you'd be more scared to go up in front of him. But he would help you. He would talk to you. He would laugh. He would hang out with managers at night. You know, and then he was replaced by Danny Kelly. Danny Kelly was the one that it went right to his head. That's the motherfucker that they would call up and say, hi, we're coming to see Doc tonight we're from Paramount. We'd like to come see Doc. Is there a 9:30 spot? Yes, there is.
Right.
And he would put himself up at 9:30. So they would see him. Then he'd follow him to see you. Mitzi found out, fired him. Right. Princess Corey came along.
Right.
She was good. Princess Corey was fun. Then after Princess Corey, it was Duncan.
Right.
Then Duncan quit because of the reality show.
Right.
And then Tommy came along.
Tommy came.
And I knew by the time Tommy was in there a year in, he would call me and just tell me about all his ego and all his conquests, not in love, but all his conquests at the store. Like, I think that this guy's going to be the next big thing and all this. And I would just sit there and go, you've been here for 2 years. Who are you to even say this kind of statements?
Yeah.
You know?
He was being dishonest with himself.
Yeah, no, he was. So I'm really happy that they called me when he left. I'm really happy that I'm there twice a week if I can.
Right.
Just to see the young guys and go up there and I just lose my mind. I get right back in the car and I fucking leave. I've been blessed, man.
Yeah, it's just been great to have you guys back because I felt like the other guys, they not even near ready, you know, and they don't have that facade, that power that y'all have yet. Meaning like they have a glimpse of what you guys have already become. So like I feel like when you guys got taken away, they didn't have nothing else to feed off of. So these guys kind of molded into these things that they never got a really chance to become headbangers, you know, and because of that, it weakened the store. So like you found Adam having to like scramble and gather y'all. Like we need the Joe Diaz back. We need the Joe Rogans back. We need the Al Madrigals because that was needed. You needed that power there so that people can look up and go, oh, this is what comedy is. Okay. Because he had so many young guys up there, and they were so it was the same material, same type of stuff, and there was really no real power in what they do. Like that's the thing. Like with Missy's club that I learned. Like the reason we feel the way about the club is just because, man, she really loved us because she loved the game of comedy. She loved comedy. She was married to a comedian. She had raised a son that became a star comedian. She was the truth. Like when it come to comedy, that woman was the truth. I don't know about the other owners, but with her,
it was
employees all day, every day.
Yeah.
And when I remember when I first came, she was like, "Fire him. He's horrible." Like, they was like, "We're not gonna get rid of you." She do that all the time. I'm just like, "Phew." And then she went from that to Tommy even told me. She said when last time she saw me, she said, "I see why he's here. He's very truthful." That's when he didn't know nothing. He was like, "Oh, I don't know what that means, Doc. Maybe that means you should start, doing more truthful stuff." I said, "I've been doing it. I know exactly what she's talking about, so I'll keep doing what I'm doing." And like, unfortunately for me, that's when she tapered off, and she never really got to see me again because Tommy he hated me. He would never put me up when she would come around. You know what I'm saying? So only time I could see Mom is when Paulie when she would come up there with Alfred, her driver, her caretaker, or Paulie would take me over there to their house to go do something with him, and then he'll be like, "Go say hi to Mom," or whatever, But that love though that she established in that place, that's something that you can't duplicate. The realness in that, like the kind of love she had is the same type of love that we have as comedians to do comedy, and that's raw, that's rare. And because she loved it that much, she had every level, dude. Employees on the doors, non-paid regulars who wasn't good enough yet to be moved into as a paid regular. So she had 3 levels, and you can see the levels. It was like, what? Most clubs just got their star bangers. Pop, 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 pop. But in her club, you could see any given night, you can go and see these different levels of comics. And she grew and she cultivated them and they became these awesome it was such a great process. I said, man, you can't touch this. That discipline, that ability to sit there and watch comic after comic, go up in the belly room, see what the comic doing, come back down, put them in the showcase, see how they doing, move them back to the non-paid regulars, put them up. Okay, you good enough? You think you that good? You go behind Joe Diaz. Tell him Triple E, you got to follow Joey Diaz tonight, or you got to go behind this guy. She had that mental. She knew that game, and then at the same time she would slam you. But then at the same time, she would show love. Okay, let me show him that I'm cool, that it's okay. And that was the beauty of her, the art form of what she did to me. Like, people got what they're going to say about her. She had her flaws, but everybody got flaws. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to this shit, man, hands down to me, that love is there forever. And I will always have a love for her.
I feel it when I go down there.
Come on, man.
Listen, man, I had nothing. I'm a criminal, and I became a comic. I had good people around me, but listen, at the end of the day, I don't know nothing about The Longest Yard and De Niro movies or TV shows or Marin. I know one thing, that she looked at me and made me a regular.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that means everything in the world. There was no tape. I was there. She came. I went in there twice, showcased for her, kicked ass, and she made me a regular. And you can't take that from me anytime ever. That beats everything. That beats Evening at the Improv. That beats HBO, because she's passed more fucking great comics than HBO has had specials.
Right.
So, let me give some shout-outs, and we'll continue with this.
All right.
Let me put my fucking glasses on. Big J Hill, I love you, cocksucker. Benny the Baker down in Australia, stay black. Tommy Terranova, who's better than you? Thank you very much for the gift card. My wife took it. Rock Mastrangelo, I love you. Justin Evans, the Stoic Network, Alberto Jimenez, and Death Squad MUFC. You bad motherfuckers. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
All right.
Lee, another star or what?
Hell
I already
no.
ate 4 of these fucking things.
Oh, my God.
I'm about to see El Diablo Red.
Do it? Is it got you floating?
Oh God!
Look at the
your
shape.
eyes red as
red as hell. How old were you when you started gangbanging?
I would say about 13, 14.
But you were exposed to it since you were 9.
Yeah, like I was. Well, the thing was my mom made me move. My mom moved over there like when I was.
And this is in
elementary.
Detroit.
Yeah.
This is where in Detroit. This is not Dearborn with those white.
No.
You're in Detroit.
Yeah,
Detroit.
this is Detroit.
Coco's Comedy Club.
That's downtown. Yeah.
Downtown.
But I lived on the southwest side, not the southwest, northwest side of Detroit for a while. Then I was on the east side of Detroit. So like, you familiar with streets over there in the D?
It's been a long time.
Well, you know, if you seen the movie 8 Mile, right? That's the last street I lived off of. Basically, what 8 Mile is, what people don't know, 8 Mile separates the whites from the blacks. When you cross over 8 Mile and you go further out, it gets wider and wider and wider.
I was going to ask you that as a joke.
I
was going to ask you if you lived on 8 Mile.
Back when I was like, now there's more black people who live on the suburban cities on the other side of 8 Mile now. Oak Park, Southfield, Warren. There are a few sprinkled up in Warren and stuff like that. But back in that day when I was coming up, like we used to have to go to the dollar show over in the white neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So it's on the other side of 8 Mile on 9 Mile. So like me and my boy, we went. I was probably about 10 years old. We about 11. We going to the dollar store. I mean, we going to the dollar show because we skip school, you know. That's how we do it. So we go and we come back and we're close to 8 Mile. And these guys, they drive up onto the curb on the sidewalk and starts chasing us in the car. These white guys, and they start throwing bottles at us. And they like, get on the other side of 8 Mile, you niggers, and this and that. And like, I was kind of poor as a kid, so like I was scared and I was upset about that. But then I also was kind of like upset because they wasted all them bottles. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have just rolled up to me, gave me them bag of bottles, and said, "You nigger," and then pulled off. And I was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna go get some penny candy." You know what I'm saying, with these bottles. But it was just like I was like mad as a kid, and I didn't understand that. And at that time, as a 10 or 11-year-old, you don't even really know what the word nigger was. So I didn't even know. I just remember them kept yelling it as they was chasing us in the car. You know what I'm saying? So that's how bad it was. But now it's changed a little bit on the outskirts. But the more out you go, the more white it gets. It gets real. It's like you rarely see a black person.
And was it Crips and Bloods there? Was it Crips and Bloods?
Nah, Crips and Bloods. They tried to start for a minute, but then because Detroit, the streets. You ever watch Gangland with the Best Friends? Well, if you ever watched that,
yeah. That's a show on Spike.
No, National Geographic.
It was on History Channel.
On History.
Yeah. So you could actually watch it on YouTube if you type in or watch it on Netflix. Look up the Best Friends episode. The Best Friends was when you see them, that's the core of what most guys are in Detroit. Except the only difference is with the Best Friends, they were just all hitmen. So it's 8 dudes. They started off.
I heard about them.
Yeah, they was voted, like, from what I heard. I didn't see it, but I heard they were voted the number one, the most notorious out of all the mafias, out of everybody, the Mexican mafia, everybody. It was because they had this thing, man. Like when I was in the gang, my gang pulled me. One of the guys in my gang, rest in peace. But he said, listen, if you ever hear these guys over in this area, he say they not over here just to be messing around. They over here to kill one of us. So if you ever see or you hear, say you kill these guys. And I was like, wow, really? And they were like, yeah, man. They said this dude's is, and then I'm like 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? They telling me, I'm like, God. But these guys had a reputation because they just murdered in cold blood. Like they thing was they had this thing called rock you to sleep. And what it was they would follow you around for 2-3 years after they got into it with you, and they would let you live your life. So you can get married, have a kid or whatever. Then they'll call a hit. They'll go, okay, now it's time. And then boom. It's just like, who does that? Who follows somebody around for 2-3 years and then takes them out?
I can see Joey doing it.
Right.
If
So
Joey
like it was it's different. Like the gangs in Detroit, now they like this little bitch shit, but back then it was just getting money. So like we ran this area. Right, at least most of the guys in my gang. Some guys was like bitches trying to be part of the gang because they just bitches needed help. I got into the gang because I just needed some money, and I needed some money, and crack was the way for me. So I never really wanted to be part of the gang. But what happened was other gangs started running up on me because they would see me with them. Now, the flip side to it is my great-grandmother stayed across the bridge on the other side, and I would have to go over there. So I kind of grew up with the gangs over there, too. So I had kind of a peace with them, but all of them was warned against each other. So it was like, they were like, we cool, man, long as, we know you with them and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but really, I just was a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying?
So you sold crack?
I sold crack.
Now, did you ever process it? Did you go into a kitchen and
cook it up? Yeah.
Yeah,
in the microwave.
That's how you do it in the microwave?
Yeah, because I wasn't moving weight then at that point. I ain't have a key, so like you get like a 8 ball of powder or a half an ounce.
Could you
of
do
powder.
the whole 8 ball at one time?
Yeah,
I would always do like a gram at a time.
That's
like,
so you wouldn't lose no temps. That's
right.
why you was doing it like that. Yeah,
no, for my own head.
Oh, for your own.
So
okay.
I would take Good Blow or shit that. I would take like Coke that tasted bad, like they made a mistake with in the late
stepped
80s.
on it too much. Yeah.
No, in the late 80s, the tough thing wasn't getting Coke out of Colombia; it was getting the cleaner in. So
right.
They ran out of.
They were stepping on it all the way to from there all the way up north. Up north.
No, they ran out of ether alcohol.
Yeah.
So they started using like bleaches and shit. So you do the Coke,
yeah.
and it tasted weird. So what they figured out was take out those mistakes, but it would. When you put it in the microwave, it would burn the impurities with the baking soda. And then when you smoke it, still tastes like Coke. You don't taste the ammonia or the cat piss.
Right.
They had all these flavors that were horrific. I got stuck with, like, I don't know, a lot of cat piss. Fuck. And I would cut it, and it was still cat pissy, but it was tremendous. It was stronger than death. It was just fucking, it gave you a headache after fucking 3 or 4 lines. You couldn't tolerate it no more. I tell you, at 4 a.m, anybody snorted it. Who gave it?
Our blow up was benzo peroxide.
So how do you do it with benzo peroxide?
You put it in when you same thing, same process. You put it in with the you mix it with the cocaine and it comes kind of pasty. And then when you add a little bit of baking soda to it to give it to dry it up a little bit. And then once you have it in the water and you heat it up, it starts, it turns into that gel, and then you take it out. Then you run a little bit of cold tap water in there. You shift it a little bit, and then that's how you collect all your temps. Yeah, and it harden up. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically it. So that helped you blow your dope up. So like a lot of guys was doing that, but I never fuck with no cut. All my shit was always pure. Because my thing was like,
if it's good, they're gonna come back.
Exactly.
Why are you cutting it for? I'm the same way. I'd even knock $5 off.
It got to a
45,
point,
so I get constant.
It got to a point, Joe, where they was having so much bad shit that I had to buy their dope off of them. A lot of them I had to buy their dope off of them because they was. I was like, they would take that bad shit, and I was like, nah. If I got some bad shit from the guy who was fronting me, I automatically let him know, hey, nah. This is some bad shit, and then he would go back to whoever the dealer was, pull out his heat, and like you gonna either give me my money back or you gonna be you ghost. You know what I'm saying? So like, we because of that, man, the corner was cracking. Then we had a couple little spots here and there, but it was cracking, man. All of us on the corner, it was like I'm gonna say 10 or 15 dudes on just this one corner. You know what I'm saying? Cars. We would take turns with the cars. That's how many heads and fiends. It just was insane at the time. The money just was crazy. First and the 15th? Come on, man. You couldn't wait. Like, man, I made sure you re-up on the fifth, on the first and fifth. Man, make sure you ready because those was your money-making days. Like, that whole week, everybody's coming, spending. Then, like, what I used to do, too, was I used to hit, like, I would tell fiends this. I would get like, look, you come by. For every 10 customers, I'll throw you 1 or 2. They're like, really? Like, yeah. So you bring me a new customer, I'll throw you 2. And they go, get out of here. So they was coming from everywhere, bringing people in, and it just was growing. So like you would think I would lose, but actually what I was doing, all I would do was just take a dime and break it in half and then give him 1. So really, he just got a dime. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't care. He just got something to smoke.
Something for free.
You know what I'm saying?
People,
free is free.
And people remember that shit. When you're on the street and you help somebody out with a fucking high, they love that shit. It's I never was part of a crew that sold drugs in the street. I sold drugs to people I knew. In '85. I would go to Harlem and watch this Cuban crew sell weed on the street, like Cuban refugees, those dark-skinned motherfuckers that came from Mariel Harbor. And they were like you. They had 15 to 20 dealers on the street from the top of the hill all the way down. Mm-hmm. They took turns. You got 25 nickel bags, and you had to give the guy $100. That's what the street dealers were getting. So for every 25 nickel bags you sold, you kept $25. These guys had no way to work. They'd be out there all day slinging nickel bags of fucking reefer leak. Can you imagine? And the cops are going to arrest you every 30 days. Mm-hmm. You get away with it for 28, 29 days. And you know how to read the street. Yeah, they have different spots.
Well, do they mess with you? Because I told the story. Yeah. I told the story the other day. My girlfriend lived in Inglewood, and on the corner they had a turned over 99-cent store shopping cart, and there were always like 6 or 7 guys just right there. Yeah. And Paul said the cops never came. They used to help her mom with the groceries.
Because after a while, it's kind of like, now you have to remember too, like people, all the cops ain't good. Right. So a lot of them is kind of with you. You know what I'm saying? And some of them is taking the dope and money from you. So look, if I'm on a corner, right? First, you got a stash spot. That's number one. So if I'm just standing on the corner, what's the most they can do? They can just either give me a ticket for loitering or tell me to get off the corner. So I don't have to be posted on the corner. I can go sit in front of somebody's driveway and sit on a curb and just wait for the people. So what, they gonna tell me to get off the curb? You can't tell me to move. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's no way really to and if you really think about it, the amount of people that's selling drugs, this is a problem with the communities. There's so many people selling drugs, they outnumber the cops. They can't be everywhere all at once. You know what I'm saying? They just patrol and they just wait till hopefully they see something. You know what I'm saying? So they doing their job, but people don't think they're not there. They're there, but they just and now you include the bad cops who's also helping. That makes it even weaker. So like the community is just filled with helplessness because the power or the authority ain't there. So people say that, but I do know for a fact, just me being a street cat and being out there, like there are a lot of cops that's trying out there. They do, but the other guys make it harder for them.
Paul, she lived in the same building for her entire life, and she said the cops just gave up. Like before, like I wanted her to move up here, and they finally did. And like right before and right after, it's right next to Inglewood High School. There were 2 drive-by shootings, and one drive-by, and one guy just came up to a dude sitting in a car and shot him in the head. Right. And like they were out there yelling at the cops. Right. Because they don't go by there. There's a dude in Inglewood, a really like a 500-pound black dude who rides a motorcycle in a fake cop uniform. Right. Just to see, I don't know what he's trying to do, but they don't have. Apparently, according to her, they don't do anything down there, or maybe they're working on the cops.
Yeah, it might be. They do stuff, but it's just.
They run raids on particular areas. Vice comes. Yeah. They do it, but they don't have the resources to get you off the street completely. Yeah, I had a friend that was a Crip, and he told me the story one time. He was here in L.A., and in 1980, I met him in 88, I'm sorry. And he was telling me in the crack epidemic, this kid had 9 cars. This young, handsome black kid I was friends with. I can't find them on Facebook. I found the son. And the son really didn't want to talk to me because I'm a white dude, I guess. Fucking, he said he was making, at the end of the day, after paying his dealers and everybody on the street, from 85 to 87, he was making $3,000 per dealer on the street.
He would take himself $3,000 per dealer.
$3,000. So if he had Doc on the street, at the end of the day, he cleared $3,000 per head.
Yeah, to the streets.
And he had 12, 15. He had 3 on this street, 3 on. So what the Crips did was, listen, instead of fighting for the fucking corner, put 3 of your players on one corner and put 3 on the other corner. Let's just go to work. Yeah. And everybody's happy. We don't have to fight. We take turns. Who's next? You're next, Lee. And that's what they did. But he said he had, 10 guys out there at one time. That's $30,000 a day. Oh. He had 8 cars. He had like 6 different women that came to visit him in that prison. And they'd all bring him food, but they bring him Nutter Butters. Right. He had them all on check down and bring him Nutter Butters. So on Sunday nights, me and that motherfucker ate Nutter Butters like a motherfucker. I loved him with all my heart, guys. Right. I loved this gentleman with all my heart. I thought like I was badass. Like, I sold a couple ounces. He was like, listen, let me show you what I got. And I could tell when other guys would come in, as young as he was, and the older guys would show him respect. Oh, you're oh yeah, we don't come here. We know the same people, and I know for a fact because I used to take visitations with him. He also did a job that we got weekly visitations. See, everybody gets Saturday and Sunday visitation. I took a stock clerk job because I get Monday and Tuesday visitation. So now instead of being in a room with a coffee table trying to feel my wife's tits and finger her, I could do it wide open. I just tell her, bring a dress with no panties on and sit on top of me, and I'll bang you right there while we're fucking eating pizza and shit.
Right.
So he had them all week, and he told me I have them on check. They're only allowed to see me once a month, but I get 2 visits per week.
Right.
Sometimes he get 2 on one day. And they bring him food. Oh my God, he's the first person that ever turned me on to Church's chicken. The spicy, god damn. I mean, it was just, so I get it. I get that. When I was in San Francisco in '85, those Cubans also had something going on the street. And their English was terrible, and I would help them. And there was one Cuban that, till this day, I never forget, he would say, marijuana for Sally. Because I go, what's Sally? Sally, sail. He didn't know what the fuck Sally was, so he'd say sales and shit. So it was a real trip talking to you today, Doc. I thought this was going to be about something else, and we ended up talking about something else. But I wanted to get you on for a while, and I kept forgetting I'd go down there. I wanted some flavor on the show, and I know you bring it because we are from the same cut, only from a different. You respect character, and you want people to treat you with respect because you treat people with all the respect and love in the world.
Yeah.
So when somebody steps outside that boundary, it hurts your internal, like it hurts you. It hurts you inside. I want to cry. I want to cry about what happened today. I know that guy 15 fucking years. How can you do something like that? You're fucking up my world. You're supposed to call yourself my friend.
Right.
So I get the anger. You get the anger. With some people, you don't get it. With you, I get it because I get it. Hey, dog, I get upset every fucking day.
Right.
Because they do shit that's, where's your character? Where's your heart at?
Yeah.
You really gonna do something like this?
I just got a lot to learn myself, so I try not to just keep myself in check as much as possible. And when other people check me out, it's embarrassing and it hurts, but I know that they're coming from a true place, and if it's the truth, then I need to hear it, and I have to say,
I'm in.
Yeah. So,
just don't yell across the room in front of 20 people. Pull me to the side and go, hey, man, you've been slipping. This is what's going on. Either get it together or give it up. And you go home and you go, fuck that motherfucker. Right. But then after a few days, you go, you know what? He's right. And maybe that talk is the best talk of your fucking life sometimes. I see it. I see it all the fucking time.
Yeah,
You said, Doc, you said earlier, like at some point at the comedy store, that you realized you were messing up and you needed to change your ways.
Yeah, because
But I think what happens with people like Tommy is they don't ever realize that. Like I was thinking about it last night. Every 6 months or so, I find myself not working as hard, or I could be doing a little bit different. Like every 6 months, I get a little bit stagnant. I get comfortable with what I'm doing, and I feel like people like Tommy. They never realize it, or they don't choose to change it.
Well, you know what the problem is like, this is my philosophy. Like, age 1 through like 17, you basically
an idiot.
People are living for you. They're taking care of you. Most everybody have to be taken care of by somebody because they're kids. So you're during that time you're learning what life is as a child and as a teenager. Then after that, when you become 18, 19, 20, you start learning to be an adult and start learning to think more on your own. And then you start coming to who you are once after like age 27, 28. By the time you're like 29, 30, you know who you are. But so the problem is after that point, it's hard to learn and change back into anything because now you're this person. It's like a computer with a virus. You know what I'm saying? If a computer got a virus for too long, that's why you have to catch it right away. But if it got into for too long, it'll be stuck like that, and you have to get a whole new computer. And unfortunately for people like Tommy, he's stuck in the virus. And for him to make a change, it's going to take a long time to reprogram yourself. So that's why when I got to the store, that's what the store had been doing for me, and just other things too. But I've been going through a whole like rechanging, and I've gotten better. My mom said I gotten better. She was like, "You're a whole lot better than what you used to be," and I'm thankful for it, man. But like people like Tommy, He'd probably be like that for the rest of his life because it's just hard to make that change. What he can do though, is he can like say, I want to do this and work on it, but it just takes so much time. It just doesn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? It's just so.
Let me ask you something.
Hey, you know what? I'm parking over at that 2 hour.
Oh shit, we're almost out of here. Okay. I gotta ask you something, and we'll let you go. Where's Sergio Love?
He's been coming back up there, back and forth, and since the thing happened with Tommy, he's been. The last time I talked to him, I got his number if you want it.
Where is he?
He lives over. If he's still over there, he's off of La Brea and at those expensive apartments over there, the Palazios or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
it's La Brea, and
he's just a good dude. If you
talk
to him,
yeah, I'll hit him up. I'll let him up.
For sure. I really always loved him.
Yeah, he's been doing this. First, he was doing this race car thing that he was working with these guys, some kind of race car thing. And then the last time I talked to him, he was doing some show or some TV thing up in Vegas that he was working with. And then that's the last time I seen him, But man, he wanted to go hard at Tommy. I had to stop him a couple of times.
He's no joke. Let me read these sponsors real quick,
right,
and we'll get you out of here. A big shout out to my motherfuckers that on it. I love you guys with all my heart. I took Shroom Tech the last 2 days. Just a great product if you want to work out and you want that little extra fucking push. Iron Dragon TV.
Wait, I know you played church.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go back to that. I'm just trying to mix them all up. But since you reminded me, listen, why cut the fucking shit? I could preach here to you about On It. I'm sick and tired of talking to you motherfuckers till I'm red in the face. Go to On It. Read the webpage. See what they got. You like something they got? Minerals-wise, vitamins. No supplies, no battle ropes, no kettlebells. Just the minerals. Start with something small. You know what I'm saying? Start with fucking what makes you happy. New mood. All right, go to On It, go to the box and press in
church.
Beat. There you go, CHURCH, and get 10% off your first order. Also sign up for the Stay On It program. Number 2, my motherfucker, Dave Foley up there, Iron Dragon TV. If you're into classic martial arts, you don't know what classic martial arts is, this is the fucking Roku channel for you. Okay, they got classic martial arts, Art Diaz, mafia films, Chinese mafia films. They got self-help films, On It videos. Go to Iron Dragon TV right now. Stop fucking around. You're sitting there tonight. It's Tuesday. What am I going to watch? Here you go, cocksucker. Iron Dragon TV. Press
Joey
in the box and you get 2 free fucking movies. Not 1, but 2. This will give you a good little patois of what the Chinese and the Japanese are doing, flying through the fucking air. Number 2, you're sitting there on your ass with those rotten fucking underwear. You filthy motherfucker. Those things are rotten. You got that yellow thing going from your asshole to your nutsack. It's disgusting. You're a fucking pig. Then you wonder why nobody sucks your rotten dick. Because it starts with your underwears. They're disgusting. That's why I'm here to help you. Go to MeUndies.com right now. They got fucking tremendous underwear for women and men. They're tight. Your nutsack doesn't fall out just because it's flapping. If I'm working out, I got MeUndies on. I had my pair on yesterday for jiu-jitsu. I washed them. Then I have 3 pair. And today I put them on.
You got 3 pairs? I didn't even get 1 pair.
Because you get dick. I gave you sweatpants. I know. Take what they give you. I got some more shit for you at the house, but I forget to pack it for you. Why you interrupting me? You know
I want some MeUndies.
I love MeUndies. You know why? Because they keep your nutsack dry. They pull the moisture from your private parts. They're tight. They fit great with pants and jeans. I got a pair on right now. My fucking balls are on fire. You understand me? Why are you taking my word for it?
Is that a good thing?
Yeah. Go to MeUndies.com right now and press in Joey in the box and get 20% off your first order. And that includes free shipping to Canada and the U.S., all right? Stop sitting there like a fucking mutt with those disgusting underwear. Oh, while we're at it, you're like, Joey, what do you have that's for free? I'm kind of going through tough times. I'm about ready to suck a fucking dude's dick for money. Here you go. Uncle Joey's going to hook you up with NatureBox, okay? NatureBox.com, tremendous, nutritious, healthy snacks. Stop fucking around with the vending machine, eating shit, and then you wonder why your ass stinks, wonder why you're getting fat, your stomach. This is why, because you're not eating healthy shit. Those banana plantain chips, delicious. The cocoa almonds, fucking delicious. And you know what I'm going to do today? Today only. Today, I'm going to give you 5 bags for free. NatureBox.com. You're sitting there like a fucking mook saying to yourself, what am I going to eat tonight with my fucking Iron Dragon TV and my new mood pill? Here you go.
In your MeUndies.
NatureBox.com right now. Go to over there. Go to the box for 5 fucking items. Tell them what you like. You might like almonds. You might like granola. Maybe you're allergic to fucking chocolate. They got it all for you. Go to the box and press in.
Joey.
And you know what they're going to do? They're going to send you a free fucking sample box right to your house, okay? It's going to cost you $1.90 for shipping, but you're getting $30 worth of stuff. Stop fucking crying, all right? So I'm giving you free. naturebox.com. I'm giving you 20% off on MeUndies. I'm giving you 2 movies for free at Iron Dragon TV, and I'm giving you 10% off on it. You understand me? And you're sitting there wondering to yourself, why am I such a fucking mutt? Uncle Joey's got me. I got you. You know I love you to death, Doc Willis. You know what I'm saying? Thank you very much for coming and just talking a different little perspective. You know, we could have talked about gang shit. They know they all seen colors. They all saw fucking
talking about the
one
comedies.
with, what the fuck? And you, cocksucker,
What's up, buddy?
where you going this weekend?
I'm going to Fort Lauderdale.
When are you leaving? And I know you're not taking no
Florida?
Yeah.
Because you're a half a fucking...
You're not a comic, are you?
No, I'm going to visit my
He's
dad.
the fucking executive producer. He's the assistant to the assistant to the assistant to the assistant to the assistant director of the show.
I got a promotion, I guess.
That's right. You got one less assistant up outside. When are you leaving?
Thursday
you
morning.
taking an edible with you to eat on the plane?
No.
Nothing? You don't want a little Star of Death? I want to thank my people.
Those flights are scary.
Anarchy Edibles for fucking killing me the last. They got a little crispy bar, a chocolate crispy bar. Delicious, nutritious, and you get.
You called me like 30 times yesterday. Every 30 minutes you called to check up what he's doing, dog.
What are you doing, cocksucker? I love you, Lisa. I love you, brother.
Where are you going to be, buddy?
I'm going to be at motherfucking Crackers, Indianapolis. Get your fucking sweater on, put new socks on, and watch that snatch. Uncle Joey's coming to Indianapolis. Next week, I'm going to Cleveland Hilarities. Again, put on the sweater. Then the week after that, me, Lee, a bunch of us are going up to Sacramento.
I am?
I don't know yet. I got to see how you behave yourself,
So there's a dude coming in Indianapolis who I made a bet with for the Super Bowl. So he has to wear a Patriots shirt to your show.
I'll give him a hug and take a picture for you.
Yeah.
Right.
I love you guys. Thank you very much, man. Have a great weekend.
For sure.
Do you have a Twitter, Doc? How can they find you?
Doc Willis.
Doc Willis.
I forgot,
Shit.
man.
You
you can find me on
you
Facebook
didn't
at
even
Doc
take the
Willis,
edible.
right? No, I can't fuck with that, man. I ain't.
And you're at the Comedy Store?
Yep, I'm at the Comedy Store. And if they want to find me, they can find me at Willis_Doc.
Awesome.
Yep.
I'm at the Comedy Store tonight. I'm at the Comedy Store tonight, 11:15. Cocksucker, look at you. You're like an organ player over there. You're like Ray.
I thought you were going to be on the phone. All right. Now that the show's over, don't forget to go to naturebox.com. Don't stare at me like that. Go to naturebox.com and sign up to get your free sampler box of great tasting healthy snacks. Forget the vending machine and start snacking smarter with delicious treats like barbecue kettle kernels. Go to naturebox.com/Joey. That's naturebox.com/Joey. Go to meundies.com/Joey and check out the men's and women's underwear they have. When you go to meundies.com/Joey, you're going to get 20% off of your first order, and you get free shipping in the U.S. and Canada. That always makes me laugh. Go to onit.com and use code word church to get 10% off of your order of all their optimization products. And go to IronDragonTV.com and use code word Joey to get 2 free rentals of all their martial arts movies.